I was underneath this one.
For Betty Nelson, the Hyatt disaster will never be far from her mind. Now living in Arizona, Nelson still considers Kansas City home.
In many ways, it seems so long ago, and in other ways, it seems like yesterday.
As hundreds of other couples did that night, Betty and Fred met up with friends for the tea dance. With them were their close friends, Katie and Rob Sullivan. Betty even remembers what song was playing.
They were playing Satin Doll, and Katie and I went up to watch the dancers, and our husbands were sitting in the background, and we gave each one of them our purse.
It wasn't 30 minutes after they'd arrived, the unimaginable happened.
Come to the Hyatt Regency immediately. 3 sky bridges fell in.
I don't know, it was something out of the corner of my eye, and then everybody just fell like dominoes. And you just laid on the ground, and then the next thing you know, water is swishing in.
She didn't know it at the time, but she'd cracked nearly every rib and shattered several bones in her lower extremities. She'd be trapped there under the skywalk for the next 3 hours. All around her, chaos. A woman she'd never even met was pinned on top of her.
This lady was moving and crying, and she was hurt real bad. In fact, she died on top of me.
To her side, Betty watched for signs of life from a man who'd been crushed.
His foot was over here, and I think he died too, because all of a sudden his foot just kind of collapsed.
Betty says her thoughts often go to the victims of the tragedy, including the woman who died pinned to her.
I remember thinking of that lady with the yellow blouse and the flowers on it that was laying across me. I remembered her. I remembered it this day. I can describe the blouse to you. And I thought of her often because I never found out who she was.
Betty also lost her friend Katie that night, along with several other friends, business associates, and neighbors. People who came together in downtown Kansas City on a warm July night, never knowing they'd play a role in Kansas City's heartbreaking disaster.
I think that all these people that were injured or were there that night have a camaraderie, even though they don't know each other. And it's something they'll never forget.
Amy Anderson, KCTV5 News.